Hi everyone, my name is Mia Cariello. I use she, her, and her pronouns. This past summer, with the help of the Undergraduate Research Library Fellowship, I was able to conduct research on anti-rape organizations and protests at The Ohio State University from 1970s to present. First, we'll go over what goals I had for my research, what methods, limitations, and accomplishments I had during this process, and an overview of my final project. My goals consisted of wanting to archive, analyze, collect, and inform. I wanted to document all available anti-rape protests related to OSU on campus and off campus. I wanted to analyze organizations and activists' impact on campus policy and procedures, including campus culture. I also wanted to collect first-person testimony through conducting interviews with past and present activists and students, and I wanted to inform. I wanted to utilize anti-rape strategies of the past to inform anti-rape activism now and in the future. My methods consisted of these. I utilized the Lantern's digital archive as a main source of artifact collection due to the limitations of COVID-19. I also conducted interviews with past and present anti-rape activists through video calls and emails. I utilized archival methods and best practices for building historical collections and exhibits with primary source material in order to ensure that my research is both comprehensive and accessible to the general public. I uploaded artifacts and created metadata and built a digital exhibit using the Omeka platform, and I analyzed sources through the theoretical lens of intersectional feminism. The limitations of my research were these main ones. So the Lantern, even though it is a phenomenal student-led newspaper, not all of the articles had the whole story and may have omitted people and events. It was very difficult for me to find interviewees from the 1970s and 80s, and recent anti-rape movements are still ongoing, so it is hard to discern their impact now. And my accomplishments with my research, I was able to create metadata for over 200 artifacts. I was able to conduct 8 video interviews with 4+ hours of testimony and 2 written interviews. I wrote 9,000 words summarizing my findings, and I was able to structure all of the information that I collected from my research into 15 sections and integrated my research within the larger Reclaiming Our Histories project headed by Dr. Servinivas and Dr. Bonds. My final project looks like this. It is a digital exhibit housed within the Reclaiming Our History project, and this is what it would look like if you were to look at it on your computer. It is compiled of 15 web pages. They are organized thematically and partly in chronological order. However, since there was a lot of overlap with these organizations and movements, it was just easier to sort of put them in these groupings, as you see on the left. The web pages consisted of text and artifacts. I really wanted to make this an enjoyable experience for the viewer, so I integrated articles from the Lantern, interviews, photographs, and the like throughout the exhibit to give viewers quick access to the materials that were being referenced and the ability to engage with them on their own time. As you can see, there is a lot of text on these pages, but these artifacts, such as articles, photographs, video interviews, make it a lot easier on the eye and make it a lot more engaging for the viewer. If anyone was to click on one of those articles, they would get a website that looks very similar to the picture on the right, and you can see the metadata for each of these artifacts. So this is all the information I was able to compile for each one of these 200+ artifacts, and this particular Asian Women Against Rape photograph was actually donated by an alumni. So this project is not entirely my own, but exemplary of the collaborative effort that activists and alumni put into preserving their history. And I also wanted to record the now. So I wanted to ensure preservation of what was happening right now on campus. So 50 years from now, no one's struggling like I did to find interviewees to talk about their time. I wanted to collect it in person, in real life, documenting recent events at OSU. And I wanted to get interviews from recent activists and alumni, including preserving digital promotional materials such as Instagram posts, tweets, and Facebook posts. As you can see on these snippets of the website, we have video interviews with current workers of OSU, very recent alumni. We have pictures of Take Back the Night marches that are only at least 3 years old, and everything is very up to date. So hopefully in 50 years from now, people can look at these artifacts and really get what we did in the last 3 years here at OSU with a lot more clarity than I did when I was looking through the Lantern digital archive from 50 years ago. And big key takeaways from my research are these. So direct action, as I have seen through newspaper articles, definitely correlate with anti-rape policy changes on campus. There is also a large emphasis on intergenerational knowledge. A lot of anti-rape activists and groups of the past informed the activists and groups of the present and future. There is also a variance of anti-rape activist strategies used. There is no right way to have anti-rape activism, but it also depended on what demographic audience activists were targeting and what goals they had. Predominant leaders of these anti-rape movements were students. So anti-rape movements and groups were largely spearheaded by students, especially in the Women's Gender and Sexuality Studies department here at OSU. There was a large intersectional coalition of anti-rape activists at OSU, especially with the LGBTQ communities, but of course there were other people involved as well. And there was also a gradual shift in location. So Take Back the Night March is one of the prominent anti-rape events that occurred almost annually, slowly shifted from the greater Columbus area, such as downtown or Goodell Park, to OSU's Columbus campus. This showed a overall participant numbers decrease from around 1,000 participants who went downtown to participate in these events to around maybe 100 or 200 participants happening on OSU's campus. And there's a lot more to talk about, but I just wanted to say thank you. And if you wanted to look at this digital exhibit, please feel free to use the QR code that is on the screen. We have a lot of work to do, but we have also made an enormous amount of progress on OSU and creating a better campus environment for everyone. And I hope that this project inspires you, that you do have the power to change campus, especially if you have a lot of people who support you, who are willing to push for the things that you believe in. And I really wanted to say thank you to my mentors and to all my fellow anti-rape activists for supporting my efforts and just being there for me. So thank you so much. I hope you enjoy my research presentation.